I've come up with this idea to save my mum from complete and utter isolation this winter. You see, my mum and dad, they worked hard all their lives, and it's time for them to retire. They had this whole big plan in mind, and on the road to that journey, they had a few setbacks along the way, things that set them back a good 10 years. But within a month of their plan actually working out, something disastrous happened. It's left my mum completely isolated through this winter, so let's sort it. You see, my mum and dad, they were from an old-fashioned type of era. You met each other, you bought a house, you had some kids, and that all happened fairly quickly. So you keep in mind, my mum and dad, they got together, they had a relationship for not too long in the grand scale of things. Then they started having children. They bought themselves a house. £16,000 that house cost. In today's market, they then spent the consecutive 20 odd years raising 4 children. We're all highly successful and highly achieving in our own fields. So they did a good job. All this while they worked really hard to support a family of 4 children and a mortgage. Slowly over time, we all progressed in our age, we all moved out, we all moved on with our lives. It was now their time to slightly retire. But then my nan, my mum's mother, she passed away, which left my mum and dad to care for my granddad. All this while thinking in the grand scale of things, how long did my mum and dad actually have together to build a relationship? How long did they have to do anything together, alone, themselves, between having kids and caring for loads of other people? Now is their time for them. But what is this plan? Well, it's quite a nice plan. They've always had a little plan. They holidayed with us as kids in Somerset, nice little area. They wanted to have a lodge on top of this cliff. It was all planned out in advance. They all loved it. Now was their time to get it. They're excited. They're chilled. Yes, we can go and do it now. So they did. They went, got their lodge, they put it on top of this cliff spot that they've got. It's absolutely perfect. They have an amazing sea view over the top of the cliff. It's absolutely beautiful. They can see right over into Wales, and they can see all the thunderstorms happening in Wales while they're sat outside in the sun drinking a nice cold beer. This was the dream that they'd always dreamed of. But then one winter, as you'd expect in winter, the sea gets really rough and all this sort of thing happens. Coastal erosion becomes a big part of things. Imagine this is the driveway out of their road. They've got one road at the top. You go left, you've got 1.5 miles to the nearest shop. You go right, it's 7.5 miles to the nearest shop. Now keep in mind, my mum doesn't drive, only my dad drives. So if my mum ever wants to go to the shop while my dad's out doing something, she only has to walk 1.5 miles down the hill. Like I said, they're on top of a cliff. Each way is down a hill. If she's only walking 1.5 miles down a hill, it's not the end of the world. She goes down, sees her friends, comes back up, job's a good one. But what would happen if, let's say, the 1.5 mile route down to the local shop, while my dad is looking for a new job through the winter to tide them over through the winter, what would happen if the cliff eroded and took the road with it, and the councils around weren't taking responsibility for it? They were never going to replace that road. Even a property developer came in and said, look, allow us to build houses here and we will repair that road. And they said no. Complete isolation. My mum can't walk 7.5 miles down to the local shop because that's the only way they can go now. Now through the winter down there's a lot of rain, there's a lot of sleet, there's a lot of ice, there's a lot of snow, there's just really poor weather. So walking down that 1.5 miles, the locals have built a little footpath around it just to tide them over until the road actually gets repaired. But the road doesn't look like it will be repaired. This happened last winter and it's still the same old thing now. They've built a tiny little track, all the locals, just a dirt track to be able to get them down there if they're walking. If my dad's working, he can't drive them down there no more. What are they going to do? My mum was explaining all this to me and I felt quite sorry, but I can't leave you isolated. How can I help? And then I come up with an idea while I was riding my e-bike. Maybe I could get her an e-bike. Maybe I could set it to fully automatic, or the option to go fully automatic. Save her out if she wants to get back up this hill with a load of shopping while my dad's at work. That gives her the option. You've got to think, my mum can't pedal a normal push bike up those hills in the middle of winter. It's just too much strain on her joints. Let's try an e-bike out. We've got one there. We've brought it out testing today to be able to see whether this is actually going to be good enough for her through the winter. You've got to think this isn't going to be a pleasure item most of the time. It's going to be a necessity for her. It needs to fit the bill. It needs to fit all these different criteria to be able to suit her through the winter and many winters to come. I think this e-bike is going to have all the necessities that would require my mum to both make it highly usable but also enjoyable. let's run through what we've got. It's the CrazyBird jumper. So basically it's built for hills, jumping, all the rough terrain. She's going to be riding on a road up to the road closure, and then she's going to be going on this little dirt track to get around it. That'll be perfect. Now she lives on top of a cliff. She likes to go for a ride on the beach. Fat tyres to be able to make it so she can go for a ride on the beach. From my experience, the fat tyres make it extremely hard to push, so we need to make sure it's got enough battery capacity to be able to get it to the shops and back. There's the battery, lives under there, it comes out through there and it locks and it can charge while it's still in the bike, and it charges from the other side, or you can get it completely out and charge it completely out, so you don't need to take the bike inside to be able to charge it. It's a 52 volt 20 amp hour 250 watt battery. On paper that's got a range of over 60 miles, which will be absolutely perfect for over a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month of her riding to the shop and back. You can use it as a standard sort of electrical assist. So you've got the motor just there in the back wheel with a 7-speed Shimano gear, derailleur, whatever you want to call it. Here you've got your throttle assist. So if you are riding up a hill and you're getting knackered, you just want to give yourself that little oomph, just up the assist ever so slightly. Not only have you got 5 levels of assist with all the controls, you've got lights, horn, all your gear changing just up here, but this piece here, it comes with this totally separate. It's easy to install. I took the old grip off, put that on, put the new grip on, and it just plugs in straight there. That is to make it fully electric. Bit like a moped, just pull and go. It's got a top speed of 25 kilometers an hour. I'm actually going to test it out and see if it actually meets the bill, see if it actually is what it says it is. To turn it on, there's a little button just under there, press and hold, and the whole dashboard lights up. Up here you've got the power, your battery power that you've got left, that's your speed, that's the distance you've already done, that's your level of assist. So you just keep going up and up. You've got a walk mode on this, which is one of the things I liked. If she is fully loaded with shopping and she doesn't want to ride, she doesn't want to go full electric, or if the battery does ever run out, she can just electric mode and it'll just help pull her up. Let's face it, a fully electric bike that's electrically assisted as well with fat tires, it's a heavy bike. In the winter the nights get longer, so we've got a light on the front. Again, it's fully rigged up into this, so you've got it all on here, so you just press that and boom, the light comes on. You should hear the horn. It's no longer this ding 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 ding. Here we go. It's got hydraulic disc brakes, both front and back, so that'll make it even safer going up and down the hills in the winter. So currently, I've been using it a little bit, as you can tell. You've got 86% left on it. Shall we go for a little ride? Well, quite a big ride. We'll see what we can do and just see how it actually pans out. My mum has no idea I'm doing this. It's going to be a full surprise. I'm going to upload the surprise video when I get round to actually testing this, make sure it's good and get it down to her down in Somerset. It's going to be epic. She deserves this. It's all going to be linked in the description, so if you want to check it out for yourself, go down there and check it out. But let's go for a ride. Let's have a test of the top speed. It says it does 25 kilometers an hour. Now on full electric, the twist electric, it actually just limits out at 25 kilometers an hour. I think that might be a UK law. You can't have an electric bike unless it goes less than that. I don't know. But even on, we're going to go 1 assist. You can see it just there, 1 assist, and we're only in that 2nd gear. So we're going to just see what we can get out of it. See if we can get more than 25 kilometers. See, the camera's quite smooth, and that's because the fat tires just make it that little bit smooth. Look at my hair. Can it go off-road? It's a big hill here. I'm one-handed. Yeah. Oh, the brakes are, because they're hydraulic, they're just so easy. Look how smooth that is. I say that and I've just hit the bumpiest part, but still, that's quite bumpy, look. That's so cool. But we've got this hill here. Starts down there, comes up to there. Let's see if we can do the 25 kilometers an hour on just electric going up a hill. Camera footage might be dodgy because I'm having to use my other hand, but all we've got to do is turn it and it will start. So here we go. No pedaling. Let's have a look. Look at that. Oh, we've got 25 and we're on the hill. 24, 23. So it does slow going up a hill slightly, but still, how cool is that? I sat down just for a few minutes enjoying that view. Now I've sat down for more than 5 minutes. It shuts itself off after 5 minutes, so you've got to turn it back on. And let's have a look at what I've done so far. So 8 kilometers so far. There's a little button just on the side there, so if we press that it changes that. So we've done 8 kilometers on this ride, so 8 kilometers in total. The max speed right now is nothing because I've just turned it all back on. We're now up to 11.5 kilometers. So again, we'll press that little button just there on the side and that'll flick through the trip. So the trip, we've done 11.4, maximum speed of 27.9 kilometers. I want to try and max that. My average speed's been 20 kilometers an hour and I've only been on assist 1. We've got, there we go, that's the mileage that the bike's done, and I've only used 4% battery to be able to do 11 kilometers. If you remember, it started off at 83, I think it was. That's good, that. Let's keep going for a ride. I came for a ride up this way because I wanted to check out this park up to see if it was any good. And I don't think it is. I think this is sort of like the overflow car park for the Children's Experience Centre just there. You don't really want a van parked in there, especially while I'm working night shifts all day, fast asleep in there. Plus there's a road there, it's a bit noisy. There's a dirt track over there. Oh, let's go and have a look. And right next to that little house just there. Ooh, there's a canal. Still Milton Keynes though. I mean, you can never get away from the road noise. It's always here, day and night. I think I've just got a new high speed. Let's press the button and find out. So that's the odometer, that's the trip. Look at that, 35.5 kilometers. And it fits perfectly underneath the bed. That's the CrazyBird jumper. I'll leave it linked down in the description down below. And I'm going to try and contact them as well and get a discount code. So I'll leave that down there too. It's night time, I'm all packed up, all packed away. Subscribe so that you can see the reaction of my mum when I give her this bike. And I'm even thinking of giving my old e-bike to my dad at the same time. I can't wait for that. That's going to be absolutely amazing. Peace out, guys.